Hi guys, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to talk about three major considerations that every military member needs to think about before they discharge. Before you discharge, before you retire, before you are even med boarded out. Obviously, that may be our one exception, is that we are no longer able to stay in the military. But for those of you that are leaving voluntarily, these especially are the three major things that you need to think about prior to signing those papers. The first one is, am I getting out for someone else? Sounds easy to say that we are going to go ahead and exit for our spouses, for our families, whatever that may be. Military life can be especially hard on wives, on children, and I'm not saying that it's not. It is a challenge depending on who you are, your attitude, your outlook, your orders, all of those kinds of things. But ultimately, it is a huge consideration when it comes to actual discharge or retirement. Am I getting out for someone else? Hopefully the answer is no to that for a lot of you. Why is it concerning? Well, it's concerning because anytime we do something for anybody else, whether it's career change, discharge, going to treatment, losing weight, quitting smoking, anytime we do something for anyone else other than ourselves, we run the risk of developing major resentment and regret. And by regret, we always talk about things that we didn't do. We regret the things that we didn't do more than the things that we did do. But in this sense, I really mean loss, because when you're getting out of the military, this is going to be a loss of identity for a lot of you. You're going to have to figure out who you are as new people. And so if we couple loss of identity with resentment for someone who we essentially got out for, that is not a good combination. That does not help marriages. It does not help parenting. It doesn't help anything, really. So you need to think about, are you getting out for someone else or because someone else wants you to get out? Question number 2 is, where am I going? And this is such a loaded question because a lot of you simply don't know. And it's okay not to know. We try to work backwards in that sense. We have a different video on that of how to work backwards and find meaning and purpose. But the simple things are, where am I going geographically? Is my cost of living, let's say we're at Camp Pendleton in California, is my cost of living going to be affordable without my base housing allowance? Can I afford to stay in California, or do I need to move back home to Ohio, Kansas, or Louisiana? Oklahoma, for example, crazy low cost of living. I'm not inviting everybody from California out here, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, if you're leaving a place like California or even a place like Maryland, taking into consideration cost of living, income, state taxes, property taxes, those types of things, and look for those locations that are the most affordable. Geographically is obviously our first question of, where are we going? The second part of the where are we going is career-wise. What will I do for employment? Do not, boy, I'm begging you, please, do not leave the military without some sort of job. And I don't care if it's even a part-time job, flipping burgers, working for the city, doing maintenance work, landscaping part of the year, whatever that is for you is perfectly fine. But do not leave without some type of financial stability in place. Your service connection is not financial stability. Government changes things all the time. That can be taken away. It can be reviewed. That is something that you should not be living off of. We need to find you an actual job with a W-2 that can provide you with sustainability. So the second part of that is, where am I going career-wise? The third part is, where am I going personally? What are my personal goals? Do I want to work part-time online, doing freelance writing or some type of internet work if I'm a coder? If I have a security clearance, am I willing to let that go so that I can go travel and do what I want for the first couple of years? The last portion of the where am I going question, in my opinion, really needs to be answered by how you are motivated. And what I mean by that is, I want you to think about if you're an internally or externally motivated person. Do you, or would you, would you make your bed every morning if you weren't trained to do so? Would you fold your laundry differently? Would you not fold them at all? Would you, oh my gosh, leave them in the dryer and pull them out piece by piece if you could for an entire week? Am I okay with living a different type of motivated life? Because you are going to have a huge environmental shift from being externally motivated by others, if nothing else through anger and yelling, besides the promotion potential and those types of things, and the team mentality, all external motivations, to being internally motivated, where most everything that you do has to be done because you want it to be done. The last question is, how can I find my full potential in a new career field? This is a really challenging question, and we're going to use the corpsman as an example. Precious, love the corpsman, especially the Greenside Corpsman. So let's take your standard BAS Greenside Corpsman, who's done 1 or 2 enlistments, who has maybe deployed, and they think that they want to get out and they want to do civilian medicine. It sounds great in theory, but sadly, especially for that specific MOS, there is no licensure that translates to the civilian world. So unless you go get a lab tech certification, unless you go to get a nursing degree, or you have some type of EMT certification, simply to leave the Navy as a corpsman with all of that experience qualifies you to do absolutely nothing in the civilian world, which in my opinion is a complete and total injustice to all of those who have such great experience. And I have worked with corpsmen before who, sadly, they were schedulers in the clinic when they have done 10 times the amount of work that the nurses and the doctors in the back have done, and yet we are completely underutilizing them simply because they don't have a license or a certification. So if you think about your MOS and how that can translate to the civilian world, there's a couple things you need to think about. Do I want to stick with what I already know? Am I comfortable doing that? Do I even like it? If I work in logistics, would I like to work for a company like UPS or Walmart, or maybe a smaller company that let's say they handle medical supplies and they go around the tri-state area or something? Am I good at that? And do I like it? If not, what would I want to change to? And how can I utilize what I've already learned and make that transition into something new? I've seen some resumes in my life, and let me tell you what, 11 Bravos, simply putting infantryman on your resume is not good enough. You do so much more than that when you're enlisted, that we need to pull out and we need to extract the greatness of the 11 Bravo MOS and what you did all those years and translate that into civilian lingo. So we need to think about a couple of things. One is, what are my natural talents? What do I actually like? What am I good at? And the second is, what are my career talents? And how do I combine those to find the most potential out of my life? How do I find new purpose in combining those two? So the major 3 things to think about one more time. Am I getting out for somebody else? Where am I going? And how do I find full potential? So we didn't hit a whole lot on purpose, but there's going to be a separate video for that, and you can click somewhere over here to find that. But those are the 3 major considerations that you need to think about, and the smaller notes within them: internal versus external motivation. How can I translate my career? Can I get a certification, a license, or a degree while I'm in? And really, what are my plans? Where am I going? And if I don't know where I'm going, can I at least imagine what my life would look like after discharge? So those are our 3 major questions when we're thinking about discharge. And please do yourself a favor and consider all of these prior to signing paperwork.